Hey y'all, welcome back to Tech to Tackle. Today we're in the garage. I'm preparing for an upcoming trip coming up in a few weeks. Bass season opens here in Zone 18 in Eastern Ontario. A few weeks, so we're getting prepared. Figured I'd share my top 5 baits that I usually have tied on, especially this time of year for smallmouth. Let's get into it. The first bait I'm going to talk about is a spy bait. This one is by Great Lakes Finesse. There's a few others. This is a Berkeley spin bait. They also have Dual Realis is a good brand. I don't have any. I lost them last year on some rocks, unfortunately. But my favorite colors with these baits is clear, obviously. I use that in really clear waters, really bright days, like the St. Lawrence River or Lake Ontario. If you ever fish that, it's really clear. You can see 25 feet down. Clear is great for that. Next is a white one. I'd use the white in semi-stained water, lower light, cloudy day, that kind of situation for me. And then finally the black, low light, like dusk, dawn, really murky water. That's just the standard. Like, I've had luck with each color in other situations. That's just my starting point. For gear, I usually use a BFS rod, so a bait finesse, if you're not familiar with what they are. They're ultralight bait casters designed to cast, quarter ounce and less baits. They're pretty nice, but you don't have to have them. You can also use just a medium light spinning rod. I like a 2500 series reel, 10-pound braid to a 6 to 8 pound leader, depending on what's around it, what you're fishing for. That works good. I usually use forward-facing sonar or livescope with it, but you don't have to. You can just use it as a search bait. So I'm targeting suspending fish. If I see them suspending, I'll toss the bait out, keep it just above them, just keep it swimming along, and they usually come up and chase it. Sometimes vary retrieve. You just play with what works. But you can easily just fish it around, cover, laydowns, dock, any of that kind of stuff. You can fish it, just count down. They usually sink about 1 foot per second. You just count it down. So each approximate second is about a foot, and then you're about 5 feet deep, get it about 4 and just keep reeling it, and it'll stay above that and you won't get snagged. Otherwise they do get snagged a lot. My second bait is going to be a underspin. This is a Great Lakes Finesse sneaky underspin, it's called. This is a bigger one. This is like a 3/8 head. It's just to show up on camera a bit better. I usually use lighter. I'll use this if it's deep water, like 20 feet deeper or even deeper. For colors, I have the white ones with a silver blade. Use that on clear water, clear days, etc. Also have a darker, it's kind of like a green pumpkin, army green, I guess you can call it, the gold blade. The gold's nice in the really low light, murky water. It gets a really nice flash. For trailers, I have 3 that I generally use. The Rapala Crush City, the Mayor. This is a great little swim bait. They're durable too. Can't go wrong with just a standard Kitech swim bait. Or another newer kind of Rapala bait. This is the Crush City line. It's a mooch minnow. It's got a little less of a tail. It's more subtle than the other 2 are. You saw the colors: white, green pumpkin, and black. Same applies really for the most. Green pumpkin's a general overall color you can use in any water conditions. I use green pumpkin on that head a lot, is great. Or I have one with a silver blade as well. They work pretty good. As for gear, I'm gonna generally throw this always on a spinning rod, medium light, fast action, 6, 8 to 7 foot, give or take. I use usually the same rod I'm using for Ned rigs, that kind of thing, with a 2500 reel, 10-pound braid to a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. On a side note, if you're new to leaders and checking into knots, I do have a video, I'll link it below, on how to tie the FG knot with this handy little tool I bought from Amazon. It's called the Knot Assist 2.0. I'll link the video below. It's really handy. Makes life easier tying that knot, which is a super slim knot. So look at that one below too. I'm going to be targeting fish on forward-facing sonar with this. If you don't have forward-facing sonar, you're still great baits to use as search baits, kind of like the spy baits. Cast them around docks, weed edges, you name it, laydowns. They work phenomenal. They're great baits. They get hit hard. The next bait, it's more of a presentation than a specific bait, It's a drop shot. Drop shots are awesome for smallmouth. Oh, for largemouth, for walleye, they're good for a lot of different things. I've even caught a lot of small pike on them. There's a lot of videos online about doing a drop shot. I can do one. I have no problem doing it. It's a great rig. I always have one tied on the deck of the boat, no matter what I'm fishing for. As for my favorite baits, I have a few that I like. Another Great Lakes Finesse product, to sense a theme here. Great Lakes Finesse, this is a drop worm. It's a 4-inch drop worm. It's like a white, clear shad. Clear days, you get the idea. This is a Strike King Dream Shot, very similar. This has a lot of action in the tail. This is chartreuse color. Another Great Lakes Finesse one, just the different colors. This is a very dark green with purple flakes in it. It's almost like a black. It's very dark. This is a robo worm. This is a great one too. These are very soft baits. They have a lot of action as well in the water. You don't need to do much with them. And I see a lot of people overwork the drop shot. Personally myself, I hold it out there and kind of just keep tension on the line. Especially if you're anywhere where there's current, waves, it's gonna move the rod. I see a lot of people shaking a lot. Well, if you're shaking it like this, 7 feet up, your rod tip's moving a lot. You're really shaking that bait underwater and it's bouncing like this. It's not natural. I just hold it kind of steady and I've got so many bites just letting the underwater current just take it around, and it's very subtle and the fish just scoop it up. For rods, I prefer a 610. I'm not a tall guy, I'm only 5'9". A 610 medium light, fast action. I use a 2500 reel and 10-pound braid to an 8-pound leader. Generally stick to 8-pound. 10 if I'm gonna throw it around docks or any of that kind of stuff. But I generally stick to an 8-pound leader overall. I've had to try a bunch of different baits. A new bait that I just actually got is the little fuzzy dice. Yeah, I started jumping on the fuzzy dice bandwagon. These are the Strike King ones. They're pretty neat. I just got them I've only used them once. I caught a couple fish off them, just starting to get used to them. So we'll update on if I like them or not. So I generally use these, targeting fish on big boulders or struck fish I see not suspended more closer to the bottom, as it's more of a bottom presentation. You generally keep the leader 12 to 14 inches, whatever, off the bottom. So I'm not targeting suspending fish. That's where the underspin comes in and the other baits. Whereas this is just for fish closer to the bottom, or fish I find that are really lethargic that don't want to bite. They usually will bite a drop shot. Just dragged right by them, they usually hit it. Next baits, if you've been fishing smallmouth for any kind of time, you're gonna know it's a tube. You can't go wrong with the tube. This is just a Strike King caffeine shad. Proper tube head they're very easy to rig. Just goes in it. Pop the hook eye through, tie it on, and you're good to go. This is a bit of a heavier one. It's a bigger 3.5, 4-inch tube. I just got into these new Great Lakes Finesse, again, juvie craws. These are just these are tiny, tiny little subtle baits. This is black, that's motor oil. I like this color, it's great. They have special tube heads they make that fit absolutely perfect right here around that bait. And it's a perfect hook size. It's fairly stout too, so you're not gonna bend it out if you hook a big fish. They're very sharp. My 3 favorite colors: green pumpkin, black, and then this one I just picked up, but motor oil is a great color. For I'm using a bigger tube, I'm gonna use a 7-foot medium spinning rod. I have a 3000 reel on that. I have 15-pound braid to a 10-pound leader, fishing that around submerged rock, stumps you see, weed edges, shoals, drag it around, hop it, all that kind of stuff. They work great. The juvie craw is a little lighter. I'm gonna throw that on a medium light. Same rod I would throw a Ned rig or even the underspin on, the same as what I would use for this, because these are 1/4 ounce and less. So not the best if it's really deep water. You gotta know your conditions. If it's really deep, go with something a bit heavier. But these work great. My last bait, it's kind of a 2-part bait, so we'll call it 5 and 5.5 if you want to be fussy, is topwater. We got a walking bait. This is a Zara Spook. This is a knocker. You can hear it. It's got a rattle in there. These are great when it's muddy, or murkier water, the fish are a bit deeper, 10 or 12 feet down, they'll hit this for sure. Low light, they work pretty good. Overall, this one's good, but if it's slick, calm, I won't use the knocker. I'll use the other spook that has no knocker, it's silent. There's still action, does the same, walk the dog, but it's less intrusive and it doesn't seem to spook the fish. If you want to scale it down, I also have a BFS version of it. Here's the BFS version. Here's the full-size version. Quite a bit of difference. These are under a 1/4 ounce. I have that. I have a clear one. The same colors apply. Clear, bright conditions. White is kind of a murky, slightly murky, stained water. Lower light, like overcast. And black is early morning, very stained water. It's the same conditions apply. These are great too, but on a little BFS, you could easily throw these on a spinning rod too. You don't have to have it on a BFS. And my other top water of choice is some sort of a prop bait. This is the Berkley Chopo. It's got a little lip when, plop, 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 that style bait. These are great. You can just chuck and wind. You go into someone who's new, you can toss this out, just chuck and wind, the fish will hit it. I like to sometimes vary the retrieve, sometimes pause it, speed it up. Same thing, vary the retrieve, but you'll find with a hit, but you can just catch fish, just reeling it. They're great baits. Chopos, they have a hard plastic little lip, so a little delicate. You gotta watch if you cast near a rock or something. I've broken one off of a rock. This is the River to Sea Whopper Plopper. A slightly softer lip, or tail, a slightly softer tail. A little more forgiving. This is the little 65 series. This is all my BFS. Again, you could easily throw it on a light spinning rod, no problem. It doesn't have to be BFS. I just enjoy it. These are great. I use these if it's a little choppier. So if you have dead cum water, I don't like these. I find it, especially in shallow waters, it can be too much commotion. I'll use the spook in that kind of situation. But when it's a bit of rough water, you can have chop on the water, that kind of thing. These are great. I've seen fish come up looking on livescope from like 15 feet. They'll come up and just destroy this thing, making noise on the top. So they're awesome. For gear, I like to use a 7-foot, medium heavy, fast action bait caster, 30-pound braid. I just recently started using about a 10 to 12 inch monofilament leader. And the mono's nice because the braid, it's so supple. What happens is when you're twitching it, a lot of times the braid will get tangled in the front hook. If it's ever happened, it's frustrating. You make a nice cast, and it messes the whole bait up. You got to bring it back in, fix it, and it sometimes chews up your braid. You got to retie it to paint. I use that little 10 to 12 inch leader. It gives you some shock absorber because the braid has no stretch, some abrasion resistance, and more so the mono is pretty stiff, so it doesn't get caught up in it, and it just makes it a little nicer presentation. And I also tie a loop knot on that. I can make some knot videos too for people if they want. I have no problems doing that. A loop knot, it gives it all the freedom and action that these baits have. These are phenomenal baits. I'm gonna toss these around shallow bays, around docks, weed edges, that are visible weed edges. You can toss around that. Shoals that come right up to the surface, you fish her off. They're so useful. They're a great search bait too. That's my top 5, or 5.5 if you want to be specific, smallmouth lures that I like to use. Comment below if you think I missed anything or what your favorite 5 are. I'm always looking for new tackle, new gear. I'm always open. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a tackle junkie. My boat is stuffed with tackle and it barely closes, but I'm always looking for more. I think my next video I might do a top 5 largemouth bait video, as there's not much going on here. Walleye and pike are open, but I think I've missed the shallow season for them. They've started to go deeper, so it's a bit harder. I'm not that good of a walleye fisherman. I'm trying to learn that, so we'll see. But more than likely to be a top largemouth video. Then in a few weeks, I'm going camping, and I'll make a nice video there with a friend of mine, Ashley from Ashley's Outdoor Adventures. We're gonna make a nice collaboration video. I'll link her channel below as well. You can follow her, so when both of our videos drop, you'll be able to see both sides of it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like it. I keep making content like this. I'm open to suggestions, tips. I'm new at this YouTube thing. This is like my 3rd video. I'm always open to learn. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.